Good evening, everyone. My name is Gil Mercer, and I'm going to be your hostess for tonight. Please take just a moment to read over the risk disclaimer. It is for your protection as well as ours. Please remember that trading always involves risk, and you should never trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Now, I do presume that everyone can hear me and everyone can see my screen. Is that correct? If you could just type a yes in the question box, I would appreciate it. Okay, we're doing good then. Okay, for those that do not know me, my name again is Gil Mercer. I'm the founder of Traders Help Desk. I've also been a trader for a little over 15 years, really focused on the Forex market. I'm also the author of Trading Nadex Binary Options. It's a series of books that's available on Amazon, and one is Keeping It Simple Strategies. One is Trading Nadex Binary Options and Spreads, using currencies and using candlestick patterns. Again, they are available on Amazon. Previously, I have been a speaker at the Wyckoff Volume Conference, Traders World, Traders Expo, and the TradeStation user group. I do specialize in candlestick price formations, support, and resistance, plus volume analysis. I do invite you to visit tradershelpdesk.com to learn more about me, the indicators I use, and the methodology I use. As always, you can contact me via email at gm@tradershelpdesk.com. Now, the first thing that I want to look at tonight would be the calendar for this week. And as you can see, I only have the red reports listed. So, for example, Wednesday, we have the crude oil inventories at 10:30 in the morning. And then Thursday morning, we have the Euro press conference, main refinancing rate, and monetary policy statement. That does come in. It starts at 7:45 with the press conference being at 8:30 in the morning. Then we have the CPI at 8:30, as well as the core CPI. Both of these are month-over-month reports. And then on Friday, we have the core retail sales and the retail sales. Again, those are month-over-month, so they won't be typically as volatile as what quarterly-over-quarterly report would be. Does everyone understand that? Now, let's go and look at the charts tonight, and we're going to start out with the Aussie dollar, and I'm going to just move these over so you can see some of the price action. Would be nice. So over on the Aussie, what I would anticipate, the fact that the stochastics is overextended over on the daily chart, we've had divergence over on the 360. I would anticipate that this will come down. Now, it's going to be looking for support because in order to continue up, it will need a support area that will kind of give it the power to go up and take out the previous high. So in this case, I would think that the 68.28 area would be an area that will likely be tested. If that does not hold, we very well may go down to 67.62. And again, one of the reasons I think that that may happen is because you do have a very strong divergence here in that you're making higher highs in price, but the stochastics is making lower highs. Now, also over here on the ADX, you see this magenta dot. Normally that indicates that the market will push back to this ATR, which is the plus sign. Does anyone have any questions about the Aussie dollar? Okay, moving along, we're going to go and look at the euro yen. And on the euro yen, you can see this is approaching the point of being overextended. I do think it's going to probably reach up to this red dot here, because what it's looking at right now is a resistance area. So I think the most logical resistance area for a retracement would be 119.17. So that's still probably about 60 pips away from where it is right now. You can also see over on the 360 chart, you can see that this stochastics is also going up. So this just actually confirms to me that there is still some momentum here. Okay, so what I would want to see is for price to come up to right around 119.17. Then I would like to see a retracement. Okay, and I think they will test for support, and they're probably going to test the support somewhere between 117.53 and 116.88. These areas would be your likely area to find support. And if that report does stand, they could go all the way back to 120.86. Any questions on the euro yen? Now, that may not happen until Thursday when we have the rate announcement, but again, it's what I would anticipate to happen. Now, if we go and look at the euro dollar, on the euro dollar, you can see that you're making lower lows over here on the weekly chart, and the stochastics is not confirming that low. That is a potential divergence here, and because this bar is forming bullish, more likely than not, it will turn the stochastics up. As you can see over on the daily chart, this is retracing up to the ATR, which is 1.1101. I do think that we will probably go to that area, may even go up to 1.1161 as well. What I would be looking for at this point is for price to actually come up to 1.1100 and then wait and see if we get a retracement back to the ATR. Currently, the ATR is at 1.1011. That does move up with price. So it could end up being about 1038 or 1040. Okay? Any questions on the euro dollar? Okay, let's go look at the British pound yen. On the British pound yen, you can see it is right at this congestion dot, and the stochastics is overextended. And if the 6-hour bar forms as a bearish bar, which means the close will be less than the open, then you're potentially going to have divergence there, and that should push price down to at least 131.03. That's where the ATR is. It's also where this purple line is highlighted at the moment. It could actually even go further down to 129.18, which is the ATR value over on the daily chart. Okay, once it reaches these areas, either the 131.03 or the 129.18, then you need to see whether support develops. If that support develops, then we could see the British pound resume an uptrend. Okay, but again, you need to see that support develop. Okay, any questions on the British pound yen? Okay, the next one we're going to look at is the British pound dollar. And this has been a quite volatile one because of all of the drama playing out in the UK at the moment. You can see that on the weekly chart, we did have a Pearson line formation followed by a bullish expectation pattern. And so I'm expecting this to actually go up to 1.2538. However, with the daily being overbought at the moment, I would wait. I would want to see a test for support before I went into that market. And that's being confirmed right now on the 360 because we're making higher highs, but we're making lower highs on the stochastics. Again, when you see that, typically you're going to get a test for support. Now, you do need this to be a bearish bar. Usually this is where I would go down in time and look to see if we're developing a bearish pattern where you could enter perhaps a daily binary or even a 2-hour binary. Now, once it does come back and once it does form support, provided that that support holds, then you can actually potentially take a long position. But what about if the support doesn't hold? Well, then the option would be short, okay? That's why it's important to wait for some of these patterns to develop. Let's go and look at the USDCAD. And on the USDCAD, you can see that you are at this congestion dot here on the daily chart. Normally, this is where you're going to test for resistance because support and resistance is what moves the markets, okay? So price moves and then it finds a support area, okay? Then it goes up and tests for resistance, and if it finds resistance, then it goes down and it makes a new low. Well, right now, with the stochastics being overextended, that's indicating, hey, we need to test for a resistance area that will give us the power to push price down again. Now, that's probably going to come in around 32.17 to 32.96. You can see I've marked those areas over on the 360-minute chart. You can also see right now you're getting a bullish expectation bar here as well as a bullish pivot. So that just indicates to me that we're going to at least go up to probably 32.17 potentially, okay? And then if it goes through that area, it will go on to the 32.96 area. Does everyone understand that? Any questions about that? If you notice the 6-hour chart, you're making lower lows over on the 6-hour chart, but you're making higher lows in the stochastics. That's a good indication that they're ready to test for that resistance. Let's go look at the USD Swiss franc. And the USD Swiss franc, you can see that it's coming back to test this red dot again. And if this red dot holds over on the daily chart, we could actually see another test of the ATR at 98.02. I think the one thing that you really can see on the 6-hour chart is the fact that this is moving in a range area. And when you're moving in a range area, the binaries are great to trade because, you know, all you have to do is target the 99.35 binary pretty much. So let's say that this comes up, tags this, forms a bearish bar. Well, that would potentially be a trade to the short side, but when it comes down and tests 97.97, that could potentially be a binary to the upside. But again, you've got to see that that support holds. I really like it to come back to 99.31, which is about 10 pips away, and then form that bearish bar. That would actually pique my interest more than what it is right now. Any questions on the USD Swiss franc? Okay, let's go look at the USDJPY. And the USDJPY is really trying to make its way up here to the congestion dot. The problem is it going to have enough steam to make it up there? I do think it will get up there. And that area is at 108.04. It may take a while because this has been moving very slow, but once it comes back to the 108.04 area, again, I would expect a test for support, especially with the stochastics on both of these, both the daily and the 360 being overextended, okay? And I would only be interested in this if it comes back and it tests for support and the support area holds. That's going to be a critical aspect on the USDJPY. So any questions tonight? Okay, if there's no questions, I do want to remind you to visit my website at tradershelpdesk.com, and to remind you, you can also email me at gm@tradershelpdesk.com. Are the indicator explanations on the website? Yes, they are. Most of them are. If you see this bullish expectation bar, there's a bearish expectation and a bullish expectation. That's one that I've been working on, Keith. So that one is not. And the trading view is the only one that has the candlestick formations in them. Now, the candlestick formations, I don't do every candlestick formation because it kind of loses its significance. I like to do the candlestick formations that I trade, okay? For example, and this is actually kind of a good example. Did you see how right here, Keith, you had price was at this red dot and it formed a bearish engulfing as well as a bearish expectation? That's what I like to see. You see it over here as well. You know, and my expectation is, okay, it's going to come back to the ATR. Okay, in this case, it's probably going to take out this ATR because of the pattern that's developed here. You basically have a double top. Does that answer your question, Keith? Especially this one is the one I like the most because your stochastics is overextended, and this would be what I would consider a zero line reject to the downside. If you've ever used the RSI, you probably know what I mean by zero line reject. It's where it went up above and it's showing that it's being rejected. It's pretty much the same thing as, you know, they're rejecting that high over here, just depending on what kind of experience you have as to whether you would understand that or not. Any other questions? I love TradingView, Keith. I really do. It has made my life so much easier. You know, I always have TradingView on my desktop going, but like if, you know, I go into the living room to watch a movie or go eat dinner, I can pull it right up on my phone or TradingView and trade just the same as if I was actually at my computer. Not to mention if I update something, you know, if you're subscribed to the indicators, you get the update automatically. So it's kind of cool. Any other questions tonight, guys? I would like to thank you all for joining me. And again, I would like to invite you to visit tradershelpdesk.com. I do have a blog there as well. I post a lot of videos and articles there as well. So I hope everyone has a wonderful night, a wonderful week trading, and I will see you in 2 weeks.